Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're visiting my channel for the first time, let me tell you I make content on food, fitness, fashion, and tech. Today's video is on tech. I'm here with some content about the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. If you are aspiring to achieve the certification of AWS Solutions Architect Associate, then this video is just the right one for you. So stay tuned and let's get into the video. I hope I'm bringing you some motivation through this video. And if you have been wondering to achieve the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification but not sure where to start, I have the right content for you. All right, so let's get started. Yeah, I achieved my AWS Associate Solutions Architect Associate about last year, and I had to do about a month of preparation. So I thought let me bring some content for you guys so that it can be helpful to what strategy I applied to be able to, study and apply for the exam and clear the exam in the first attempt, along with the the full-time work that we do. All right, so this definitely is going to bring some motivation and help you all. So let's get into seeing exactly what I have as part of this video. So first thing, let's understand what is the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. Who should do this certification? I'm just gonna go through the registration process, how you can register through the exam, and then let's understand the exam, and then see what are the list. Let's list down the topics and services that you're going to study, and then there's time management. I'm also going to walk you through how you can manage your time that can be helpful for you to, achieve the certification, clear the exam in the calculated time that you do. Then let's look at the actual preparation, a strategy as to how you can approach what topics to take first and how you can, complete the entire course book or whatever material that's there as part of the exam structure. Right, so let's also look at preparation assessment, because this is a really important aspect of any preparation you approach for any exam for that matter. So yeah, so let's quickly get into the first topic that I have today is what is AWS Solutions Architect Associate certification. So, AWS Solutions Architect Associate showcases the knowledge and skills in the AWS technology across a wide range of AWS services. So, this definition I've taken from the AWS website, the certification website, of course. And what this means is this certification is going to tell you about the different services that AWS has to offer, and all with an explanation of which service is applied best for which kind of problem. So see, AWS has a lot of services by now, right? Ever since AWS started, and now there have been hell lot of services, and at times you might not just know what to apply for what, right? For one problem there might be multiple solutions. For example, if you want a server itself, you have EC2. What kind of machines are there in EC2? For what kind of load, what kind of machines are there? And then there's Fargate. What is the difference between EC2 and Fargate? What applies the best? So this is a certification that's going to help you assess and make a decision as to which service fits best for which problem. It might not have the implementation details. So this certification might not have the details of how it is implemented, but more so what is there, right? What services are there and for which problem you can apply it. Also covering the non-functional aspects of any problem or any solution or any application, right? That I hope you understand the non-functional aspects of an application, which is your cost, availability, scalability, fault tolerance, reliability, right? These are the five factors which no customer with any problem tells you, right? As an architect or as a developer or as a senior developer, you need to understand that if you're finding a solution, make sure you consider these factors, right? That any solution that you're providing is highly available, it is scalable based on the data load, or um, time load, or increase in the load, increase in the load, right? So yeah, apart from that, then consider fault tolerance, as in if the server goes down, who's going to take care of it, right? It's not going to be really the problem, but it's the underlying statements of the problem, right, that you need to find a solution for. Another thing that I was talking about after fault tolerance was cost. Yeah, cost is really important thing. You might as well assess when you're assessing the services as to, compare and see what services are giving you what kind of are bearing what kind of cost for you, right? So yeah, that's the certification all about. Yes, let me read the second point as well, which was mentioned in the AWS certification page. The focus of this certification is on the design of cost and performance optimized solution. You get that point, right? That is the non-functional aspects that I was talking about: cost and performance optimized solutions, demonstrating a strong understanding of the AWS well-architected framework. So AWS well-architected framework is one such service from AWS which you will get to understand when you study for the exam, is which actually tells you, what are the aspects that you need to look at and what service is best for what kind of solution for the kind of problem that you're looking at. All right, so let's get to the next slide that I have, is who should do the certification. So the I think the first slide that we went through is pretty explanatory as to, to assess what exactly it has. And I think by now we might have understood that what resources, or what who should do the certification. So I think people who are at a space where you are given problems, and you have to provide a cloud solution to it. For example, your cloud architects, your architects, even your technical managers. I think even the senior developers should have a knowledge. I think until I started studying, I thought it's only for people who are at the architect level or at the technical manager, security architects. I thought only those people this certification fits in best for. But as in how I was understanding, I understood that senior developers, right, people who are implementing, for them also it's an important certification to know what service is bringing you what, right? What service is bringing you what features, and what non-functional features and functional features it is coming with, right? So it's important for them as well. Okay, so let's move on. So let's look at the registration, how you have to register for the exam. Go to aws.amazon.com/certification, create an account. If you have an account, you sign in with that. I'd prefer having a personal email ID. Once you go to that link, the page is self-explanatory. I'm going to quickly go to the page and show. Okay, so this is the page that loads in the AWS certification. So you can click on schedule for an exam. This prepare for an exam, we'll come to that later. But schedule an exam is what you need to click, which will take you to the registration page. Also, before clicking on schedule an exam, quickly just read through the page that is showing up. It's really important, which will also list the certification. But if you know exactly what certification you're doing, if it is the AWS Solutions Architect Associate, go ahead and schedule the exam. Then you can choose which exam. This will take you to a different page, and you can choose what exam, what slot, and which center. For example, there are two kinds of ways that you can write your exam. One is you can do it online at home. The second option is you can go to the centers that are authorized with AWS, like the PSI or the Pearson center. So you can register with any of these and go ahead. I went ahead with the PSI, and I have written two AWS exams. I'll tell you what I prefer the best. So one exam I took from home, and one exam I took from the center. Okay, and I prefer taking the exam from the center, is far more comfortable and relaxing. The first exam I took from home, it was so tedious. I lost 40 minutes just for scanning the room. I had to empty the entire table. Below, above, the room had to be clean. I had to maintain Make sure there's no noise, make sure the internet is fast. You don't have those overheads if you go and write to the center. For the next exam that I went to the center, it was so calm, it was so clear. You did not have to do anything, just sign one paper. You don't have to show anything also, because if you just take your name and if that's there in the list, they set it for you. They go and set the computer for you. You can just go sit, write the exam and come out. So that is so relaxing and nice. I definitely prefer going to the center and write the exam. Um, all right. So, yeah, there were a few key points also I wanted to bring before you register or at the time you register. One is plan the date of the exam. I think that should be the first step that you want to do, right? Plan the date exactly a month before your preparation. Go ahead and register for the 1 month from that date, and make sure there are no personal or official or any such huge commitments that can come in your way of preparation. All right, yeah, so that's the registration part. Then let's understand the exam. Yeah, do visit the official website of the certification and study the exam guide. That's really, really important. I'm going to show you the official website of the certification. So let's go to this link. Yeah, so you see the homepage of this, right? AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate, where you see the scheduled exam link as well. Just go down that, and they actually explain really clear as to what is the certification, who should do it, what you will learn from the certification. And yeah, exam guide, it's really important, believe me, because it lists down how the paper is written, how your exam is written, what is the content. If you can see, there are two kinds of questions that will come, right? One is multiple choice and one is multiple response. And yeah, so I would recommend to read this at the time you are registering for the exam, right? Just before or just after. Yeah, so this also shows you the kind of domains that the paper comes in. For example, design secure architecture, which will more pay attention on your security features or security services that are offered by AWS, which is, for example, IAM, then there's WAF, there's Shield, all such services will be asked for. Then there's design resilient, then there's design high performing, then there's cost optimized architectures. Okay, the questions are going to be based on these aspects. And then they also and they also explain each of the domains. Definitely go through this. I'm sure this is going to help you when you start. Before preparing, I would recommend you to read this, because while you're preparing, it will help you remember these points and prepare on that basis. So as you can see, they explain all the domains really well with points. Make sure you read each point. And the guide also shows you the list of services that are covered. I would say put down these services on a paper or on your timetable, or however you want to do it. So yeah, just list down whatever services are there. There are too many services to study, but I'm also going to show you as to what are the major services, right, that the paper might assess you on. All right, so I think that's all we have as part of the exam guide. And then you go through these questions initially itself, so that when you're studying, you know what exactly is going to be. And yeah, do read these question and answers before your preparation. This, I think, you should plan it on the day you're registering for the exam, immediately after your payment or registration, and scheduling the exam. All right, so that's about your call it preliminary preparation or assessment. All right, so let's see what next we have. So yeah, after that, list down the topics and services. If you're absolutely new to AWS, you might not know how to prioritize and what are the bigger chunks of questions that are going to come as part of the exam, right? So for that, I've bought in a few very important services. I think see how I have come to these services is, see, as we understand, AWS started with a few services, right? Now, in supporting of these services, AWS came with multiple other services to provide more and more security, cost optimization, resilient features, right? But these are the major services that you have to prepare on. You can first prioritize these services and then take up the others that we saw in the exam guide. So VPC is one such topic. AWS RDS, yeah, Amazon RDS is really important because it's all about data, right? And data resides in RDS. So you go through RDS. There are other ways of storing data as well. So but RDS being one of the most important for applications that have developed a few years ago or which are old applications, right? Then there's Amazon EC2, then there's Amazon S3, where data storage happens again. Then there's CloudFront, then there's CloudWatch and CloudTrail for your logging and monitoring purposes. Then there's cloud migration. This is, I'm telling you, this is a really important topic. I neglected it in the beginning of my preparation, and when I did sample papers is when I understood that this is an important topic as well, because AWS people were using applications or companies were using AWS ever since they started, and AWS is already available. For them, the application started scratch from AWS. But what about the applications that were built before and they had like the legacy servers, the old implementation servers, or there was no cloud at that time, and they had their computers which were treated as servers. So for them, cloud migration is really important, right? So then there's Amazon SQS and SNS. All right, so what do we have next? Yeah, so list down these topics. Let's see what we have next here. Yeah, study resources. How you can study, what resources are available out there. So AWS documentation is always there because they have every minute detail written there in their documentation for each service that AWS has to offer. So definitely go through that. But there's hell lot of information there. You might want to go you might want to first understand some with some interactive learning, and then you might want to go back to AWS documentation to verify your knowledge and pick some key points that might come in the in the exam. Yeah, but AWS documentation has everything out there. Then if you're looking at YouTube, then there's a channel which I understood, the initial understanding was a Pythonic channel. This guy has explained it really well. You can blindly just understand him, and then you can go to AWS documentation to complete your study. Then for individual topics, there's Edureka, there's Amazon Web Services. You can understand if you're new, especially, right? You might not just want to go and read through and understand. You can look at these videos, and then you can go back to AWS documentation. Then comes the mock exam. I'm going to talk about mock exam in the last slide because this is a really important aspect. I would say your preparation and your exam, sample exams, right? The mock exams, give it a 40-60% weightage in your preparation cycle. It's really important. I'm going to show you through what these mock exams are. So let me just click the link as of now, then I'll show you later. All right. So yeah, time management. This is really important. Another important factor, I would say, because almost all the slides that I went through are important. All right. So as far as your time management is concerned, make sure for that when you're scheduling the exam itself, make sure you do not have any commitments. No shopping. That's for people like me. Yeah, no commitments. Yes, make sure there are no weddings at home. There are no such trips planned at home, right? So make sure your every hour that you save in that 1 month, right, it's going to help you. And I'm saying this especially because we want to achieve the certification along with our work, and our work itself takes about 8 to 10 hours a day, and you will have to plan very carefully and not miss an hour. Make sure you do not miss an hour. It's at all, right? Not even an hour. So yeah, you can plan it this way. Plan it, say, a weekday. pull out 2 hours, make sure you take out 2 hours. And I think it's important you keep it before your work starts or after your work ends. Don't keep it in the middle, because you might need a lot of concentration as well. It's not just going through, you might forget, right? So yeah, make sure you have a 2 hours slotted for it before your work or after your work, which will give you 80 hours a month. Imagine, if you do not register, you will not do it. I know there are people who are self motivated, who can do not need a registration of an exam to study, but yeah, most of us are there out there like that. Okay, then a weekend, make sure you're putting out 6 hours. I'm saying 6 hours based on your maybe busyness, but yeah, make sure your groceries are also taken online, so that also will save an hour for you. So 6 hours a month, 6 hours for a month, right? Which will take you to 48 hours a month, considering 4 weekends in the month. All right, so that's your time management. Let's see your actual preparation. So I've put down some services as to how you can prioritize on a daily basis. So your day one is which is 2 hours, as we decided, which will be RDS. So you can start with RDS. Why I picked RDS in comparison with EC2 and S3 is because it's a little independent entity, right? Because data comes in the end in the application cycle. So you can go through RDS, and that's really important. Go through all SQL, no SQL. Then there are other services as well that RDS has to offer. Then on day two, go through VPC. VPC, believe me, I think about 30 to 35% of the paper is talking about VPC. What is gateway? What is VPC? What is a subnet? How internet gateway and NAT gateway are different. This is really important topic. Pay a lot of attention on VPC. And then there's cloud migration. Yes, another bigger chunk of the paper. Then there's EC2 and S3, really important topics, because everything is on the servers, right? And S3 for data storage, log storage, a lot of things, right? Then the day six, you spend time on CloudFront, CloudTrail, CloudWatch. If you're familiar, just flip the topics at all, okay? This might help for a person who's starting up new at all in the cloud, but people who've already been there, yeah, just flip it around and do as it works for you. Then day seven, attempt the topic-wise test on Viz Labs. Yeah, so the mock exam that I was talking about is this. Let me just open that. Yes, so on. Yeah, so where is it? Yeah, on Viz Labs, the attempt the topic-wise test on Viz Labs and assess your areas of improvement. Topic-wise, as in whatever topics you've written. I'll show you the Viz Lab course. So I definitely prefer take this course. It comes with two options. One is you can buy the practice test alone, which comes with 19 practice tests, or you can buy the video course itself. I bought only the practice test because I had already studied the video courses by the time I came to Viz Labs. Yeah, so if you can see, you see about 8 tests, right? This is the entire paper. Then there are section tests, right? Cost management, VPC, S3. So whatever topic you finish at the end of the sixth day, which is your seventh day, try taking these assessments. And the assessments are in such a way that they explain exactly exactly what is the solution when the answers are given, and why that answer is the most probable answer. See, most of the time the questions are in such a way that you might feel, based on your study, that all four are correct. You need to pick the best solution. So that's why I'm telling you, it's really important to assess the papers after you've done your exam of this mock exam, right? Make sure you read the exam. That is the key area of your assessment. That will explain you what you chose. If you've chosen the wrong answer, what you chose is wrong and why it is wrong, and why the right one is right one, and why the other two options or other three options are wrong. That's really a good course. I would highly recommend invest your time and money on this course. All right, so then day 13 again you have, which is your first weekend, second day of the first weekend. Attempt your first mock exam, which is the entire mock exam. Then read through the exam results very carefully. This is exactly what I was talking about. Go through the paper, the answers really carefully. And from those itself, whatever wrong answers that you have written, make a note of those and what topic that question belonged to, so that you can go through that topic again. So that's what I mean here. Study those topics means go through those topics which went wrong, right? The questions that you were not able to answer. And then 14 day 14, 6 hours, repeat day 9, right, which is your exam attempt. Then the next 14 days, keep repeating it. Take your mock exam, assess, list down the topics that you said wrong, read them, attempt again. Attempt the exam, read the questions and read the answers properly, list down that you were answered wrong, that the topics that you answered wrong, list those topics, read again, take the exam again. Do that process till the end of the exam, till the end of your um, yeah, until you complete all the papers in your, what would you see here, right? Where are they? Yeah, so the practice tests, all 7 practice tests, do this 7 times. I think you're good to go. I think you're ready for the exam. Yeah, so that's all I had. Yeah, so yes, I think this content will really help you to put in the right strategy to clear your exam. Yeah, that's all I had. Good luck for your exam and do the best.